with that in mind, let's bring on the head coach of the Orange, Adrian Autry, brought to you every week by Oswego County Mutual. And, Coach, as we do every week, let's start with your assessment of the last game. Your thoughts coming off that North Carolina game.
I thought that, our dips really dug holes for us. When we dug a big hole at the beginning of the second half. I thought at the end of the first half, where we had it where we needed to be in the game plan of keeping the score where we thought we wanted to be at, and then turnover here, turnover there. They capitalized on it, and in the second half, I thought we had a long stretch of just not being able to kind of flow, get stops like we needed to, and then we finished up that last 15 or 13 minutes. So getting stops and kind of getting out and getting some easy buckets, and at one point again we got it down to 6, but the fight was definitely there, but it was just such a big hole to come back from, and we have to do a better job of eliminating those types of runs, especially on the road. It's always hard to run on the road.
Coach, you guys moved the ball great against Notre Dame, and then it felt like the ball didn't move against North Carolina. Of course, it's probably harder to move the ball against better teams, but what did you see on your offense is why the ball was not moving against North Carolina?
Well, I give credit to North Carolina. They did a good job. They set the tone. I said it at the end of the game. That was we hadn't had anyone really get up and press up in our face like that in a while. So I didn't think we did a good job of getting open and being physical offensively, walking our guys in and creating those passing lanes and being strong with the ball. I thought Carolina really pushed us out, and we knew that they would be aggressive, but we just didn't execute, and move and cut and get open the way we needed to. And also when we got the ball to the middle, I just thought our decisions weren't made quick enough.
Down 32 in that game.
And also,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And also, I thought Carolina did a really good job of making us play 2-on-2. And what I mean by that is, obviously, we rely a lot on some ball screens and stuff like that. And I thought they did a good job. They didn't come off their guys, so a lot of that had to do with their game plan as well, Paulie. Like, they did a good job of making us play 2-on-2.
So, you talk about the game plan. They did a good job, down 32. I don't think any of us saw a comeback coming. You did cut it to 6. What allowed for that, I guess? What adjustment was made, either by you or by them? And could that switch have been flipped a little bit sooner?
That's always the question when you get down by that much. Human nature is, Carolina probably, thought the game was over with, and we kept battling, and that fight was there, and we want to fight to the end, and I thought they did that. If it was anything, I thought the zone was really good. I thought we got better at it as we went along, and what I mean by that is we started finally rebounding out of the zone, and we made some plays out of the zone that you have to make when you play like a little high-low block shot. The guards coming down and rebounding from the opposite side, and then that allowed us to get out in transition. So I thought as that half went on, our zone actually got a little bit better as far as rebounding out of it, and that was the first time we rebounded out of the zone with a positive rebounding margin every time we went to the zone. Our initial defense, we've made people miss in the zone. I believe it's like at 30-some%, but we haven't done a good job of rebounding out of the zone. So I thought that was the difference that allowed us to get back. And obviously, Carolina with a big lead, they probably thought that the game was over with.
Do you think we'll see more of the zone moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a game-by-game game plan. We're going to do whatever it is that we need to do that puts us in position to win the game. So to answer your question, you could see zone. You could see a zone or whatever it is, but we just got to look at all options that gives us the best chance to try to win.
Coach, we saw John Wildhack behind the bench at the game on Monday night. How often do you two meet and talk during the season? And have you talked about big picture things lately and the direction things are going, or is it more game-to-game stuff?
No, it's not game-to-game. I mean, we talk, but again, John, We talk, and we've talked big picture. And again, mentioned big picture. I don't think it's any secrets that we all want this to finish this race better, and that's all you could do. And then again, the conversations like that, that's about it. As far as I have to finish this season up. We have to finish this season up, and that's all I'm really focused on.
The other day against Notre Dame, you made a switch in the starting lineup, and it was a little head scratching to the average fan that Donnie Freeman sat, and you started. Why am I drawing a blank?
Sadiq White.
Sadiq White. Yeah, Sadiq White. So is that something we could see again? And does he bring a spark to the energy of your starting lineup when he's in?
No, I think sometimes, again, when I think I made it 2 games ago, like this now has to be, communicated. Matchups sometimes fit better. And obviously, Donnie is very talented, so we need Donnie. Against Carolina, you got to be able to score the basketball, and so you got to put guys out there that can, do both. But again, I think, could things change? Yeah. I mean, again, at this point, we're not where we want to be, and we got some games left, and we want to finish up strong. So whatever I see, or my staff, we meet and we see we can adjust and make some adjustments. I think that's what you'll see.
You mentioned you got a lot of games left. What is your message to the players right now with so many games left before the ACC tournament, with, it's 4 or 5 weeks now before you go to Charlotte? You talk about, you and the coaching staff trying to finish this season strong and finish it the right way. How about with the players? What is your message to them right now at practice as you get ready for another really tough game on Saturday?
Well, I think, what we came here to do, we knew that wasn't going to be easy, and we're in it. So this is the challenging part. I think all athletes, all people want, is to be in a challenge. And again, we have 8 games left, and you give them every scenario, and you really go game by game. Like it's a lot of season left. I think the hardest thing for them to for most people, to focus on is that, a lot can happen in a month. A lot can happen in 8 games, and you have to think that way, and you got to be positive. Like we talk about positive thoughts, create positive actions, which will create positive results. And you have to be that way. I mean, again, this sport has grown, so obviously it's a lot of following, it's a lot of, speculations, and it's a lot of this and this and that, and we can't let that get into our minds. Because it's so much season left. And again, we're fortunate this year that the ACC is very healthy and strong, and that's what you have to concentrate on, game by game, because all it takes is one game to turn it around, and now you keep going and you keep building off of that, and so you got to have that mindset.
It's not an easy road, though, with 10 games left, a lot of quad 1 games, so that are opportunities for you, and it starts Saturday with Virginia on the road. Could you tell us a little bit about them?
Hey, solid team. I think one of the better put together teams. They just fit. They got passing big guys, shooting big guys, guards that are versatile. So a very versatile team. Bigs that can step out and shoot threes, bigs that can post up, bigs that can pass. They guard players, very solid guys that all shoot 35, 40% from 3-point range. So again, people talk about their offense, but their defense is really that really sticks out. Shot blockers, very physical defensively. They pick up full court, but it's a well put together team. A team that's playing probably as good as anyone in our conference. And so again, it'll be a challenge, but when you're in the ACC, it's nothing easy. Like that is nothing easy. You can change the names. Those are still going to be hard games. You can flip names and put any other name on there. And if you follow our league, a lot of things that happen. People are losing at home, and teams are winning on the road, and it's no gimmies here. So again, it's the next game on our schedule, and we got to prepare for it.
And along those lines, Coach, how have the guys looked, to you at practice? I know you just got back from North Carolina, late Monday night, but how have they responded to that? And do you feel like this team is still together at this point?
Well, I tell you what, the biggest statement about this team and that character is, we were down 32. So say what we were down 32, and I thought they fought back. Again, they showed a lot about their character, and I talked to them about that because they could have easily just folded. And they cut it to 6 points with a minute 20 to go. And if we'd have made 2 free throws, if Ski would have made his 2 free throws and Nate Kings cashes in those 2 free throws, when we cut it to 6, that would have been a 2-point game. I mean, a 3-point game, excuse me, right? That would have been a 1-possession game with a minute 20. So there's no quit in this team. There's no quit in our staff. We're going to keep rolling up our sleeves and working hard. So to answer that question, that's absolutely no. These guys are competitive. They believe in themselves. The coaching staff, we're still here fighting, and that's what we're going to do.
Yep, and that's all you can do. And you move on to the next one now. And, again, a tough game, but a great opportunity against Virginia in Charlottesville on Saturday. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on. Best of luck Saturday, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Take care. Thank you.
All right, Adrian Autry joining us here on the show, brought to you every week by Oswego County Mutual. And with that, we'll take a time out. Phone lines open for the next segment. We'll get to today's business, and then Matt Park coming up at 1:30. Back after this on ESPN Radio.